So Westmonster is here in Beaconsfield, and I'm just about to speak to John Strafford, who is the chairman for the campaign for Conservative Party Democracy. Now we're going to talk about his letter that he's just about to send to the party's board in calling for a reform for the party's leadership election rules, because Theresa May is probably just about to be challenged by Boris Johnson or whoever else because she's very, very unpopular within the party. And John is calling for there to be basically a much easier way for Conservative Party MPs to go onto the ballot for Conservative Party members. Now he says that the party leadership has got a huge disparage with the party membership, and party MPs basically have very, very different opinions to the actual party membership. So we're going to talk to him about why he thinks the party should reform and what he thinks the party's doing that's so undemocratic. So we've got John Strafford here. Can you just explain very, very briefly what your role has been in the Conservative Party and what you've been campaigning for so many years?
I have been the chairman of the Beaconsfield Association for 5 years. I was treasurer for 5 years. I was on the National Union Executive Committee for 9 years, and I was on the Conservative Board of Finance for 3 years. And I have been campaigning for democracy in the Tory Party since 1994.
You're now campaigning today. You've come out and you're going to write a letter to the party's board about the leadership election rules, where we've obviously got Theresa May. A lot of party members are unhappy with Theresa May. Do you think Theresa May should go? Is it time for her to resign?
I think it probably is time for her to go. The whole negotiation over Brexit has been a total disaster.
And can you just explain very briefly what your reforms would mean for the party leadership rules?
Under the current rules, what happens is that the members of Parliament, by ballot, choose two members, and those two go forward to the whole membership of the party. The trouble is that in the last 4 leadership elections, on 2 occasions, that hasn't happened, because the MPs, for one reason or another, have stitched it up so that the members of the party didn't get a vote. MPs are looking at their own self-interest, and the candidate that offers them the nicest, biggest job with a nice big pay packet attached to it tends to get their vote.
And what are you calling for today then?
What I'm calling for is that any MP who has more than 20 nominations from his fellow MPs should go forward in a ballot to all the party members, and the party members should vote on that list on a basis of the preferential voting system, so that the first MP that gets 50% plus becomes the leader of the party.
Is it a problem that a majority of Conservative MPs basically voted for Remain and are Remainers, and a majority of Conservative members are in fact Brexiteers?
Well, it's a huge problem, and it's a problem that has arisen for these reasons that I've given you, that the communication between the membership of the party hierarchy has disappeared. There isn't any, and so it is no wonder that you get this gap. And what has happened with Brexit is that it has brought this gap between the parliamentary party and the membership to a head.
Well, some people would accuse your reforms of making the party more like Labour, in that you're allowing members much more say, which has led to a populist candidate, Jeremy Corbyn, winning the leadership election in 2015. Do you think there's any problem or any threat of that happening to the Conservative Party under your reforms?
No, I don't, because what everybody forgets is that the Labour Party is totally dominated by the trade unions. It is the trade unions that give 80% of their money to the Labour Party. Effectively, they are the paymaster of the Labour Party, and so they can dominate things.
What do you think about Leave.EU's campaign to try and get Brexiteers to join the Conservative Party? People like Anna Soubry have called them entryists, and other sort of Remainer Tory MPs are sort of quite worried about the supposed threat from these supporters.
Well, I appeal to the whole population. I don't appeal to kind of identity politics or whatever. And what I like to see is genuine debate within the party and discussion, so that you come to a collective view. And, you know, when I joined the Conservative Party, we had 2.5 million members. Today, we've got 100,000. Just recently, we've seen an increase in membership, and that is because people are joining the Conservative Party because they want to take part in a vote on the leadership. And it's very interesting. Immediately after the 2016 referendum, when Cameron resigned, we got 10,000 new members in the first 2 weeks after that decision. People who wanted to participate in politics, in the Conservative Party, in voting for the leader. And sadly, because they found that the party is undemocratic, A year later, most of those 10,000 never renewed their subscriptions. But we're beginning to see now people joining today because they hope to have a vote.
And do you welcome these Leave.EU or maybe more UKIP Brexit supporters into the party then?
I completely welcome them. Completely welcome them. And many people Leave organisation has many UKIP members. Well, let's bring these UKIP members into the party. Many of their policies are conservative policies, in favour of grammar schools, scrapping HS2, these kind of things. So why shouldn't they be part of the Conservative Party?
And what do you think about the Conservative Party at the moment? Do you think that it's as sort of undemocratic as some people would say the EU is?
Completely. Just as in the EU, the commissioners are unaccountable, unelected, and unaccountable to the people of the European Union. In the Conservative Party, the leaders, the party chairman, the treasurer, the vice chairman, deputy chairman, all this payroll vote are unelected, unaccountable to the members of the party. And critically, the chairman of the candidates committee is an appointed person, unelected, unaccountable to the membership, which is why you get ludicrous situations like we had in the last general election, where one person at a small committee were determining who would be Conservative MPs because they were determining who the candidates were. So when we talk about democracy in the United Kingdom, half a dozen people are determining who shall be the future government of the country. It is scandalous, and the quicker it is got rid of, the better.